So just maybe take a nice big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, and allow yourself to settle in on your mat. And I welcome everybody. I'm happy to see everybody this morning. We're nearing the end of our week, so we have the weekend to look forward to, so which is nice. So our focus today is going to be on neck and shoulders. So as we move through our practice, here's Linda. As we move through our practice, I will remind or kind of cue everybody to bring attention to the neck and shoulder area where we often carry a lot of tension. And I will many times remind myself my shoulders will be up high near my ears, and I'll remind myself to relax the shoulders. So we'll make the shoulders feel nice and relaxed. So I'm going to move back to my mat and ring my bowl to signal the beginning of our class. And so just continue watching the breath, bringing your attention to your breath, just inhaling, feeling the rise of the chest and the belly perhaps, and exhaling, feeling the belly and chest soften and fall. So with each exhalation, just sink a little deeper onto your mat. Just following the breath all the way in, noticing the exact spot where it changes to an exhalation, and following the breath all the way out. See if you can just focus on the breath. And if you notice yourself thinking, just say to yourself, thinking, thinking, and then bring yourself back to the breath. And now bringing your awareness to the flow of the breath. And notice if the breath is getting caught anywhere or stuck, and just be aware without judgment, not trying to change the breath right now, just watching, just being an observer, but noticing how the breath is moving through the body as we begin, and making a note of it. And each exhalation, allow the shoulders, the back body to sink a little deeper. So we'll focus a little bit on the neck and shoulders and upper back today. So begin, as we usually do, by just floating the arms up overhead, and then walking, alternating the shoulder towards the ears. So just walking the right shoulder up towards the ear, and then the left shoulder up towards the ear, stretching out through the fingertips, and just noticing, maybe the difference in each shoulder. Is one shoulder feeling a little looser or a little tighter than the other? Allowing the breath to flow. And then bringing the arms to stillness and just pointing through the toes, and then flexing. through the heels, pointing through the toes and flexing through the heels, pointing through the toes and flexing through the heels. Then we're going to float the arms up overhead so that the fingertips are pointing towards the ceiling. The palms are facing each other. And we're just going to lift the left shoulder and the left fingertips up towards the sky so the shoulder comes off the mat, and then allow the shoulder to sink back to the mat. Lift the right fingertips towards the sky, the shoulder comes off the mat, and allow the shoulder to come back and rest on the mat. And we'll do that on the left side again. So awareness of the shoulders. Feel the heaviness when you allow the shoulder to come back to the mat. Lifting the right fingertips towards the sky, shoulder back to the earth. Lift left fingertips towards the sky, really stretching the fingertips up. Shoulder comes off the mat and then release back to the mat. And then the last time on this right side, lift the fingertips towards the sky. Allow the shoulder to come back to the mat. And then we're going to bend the knees and bring the feet into the air, the knees into the air, and we'll just do our air bicycle, pressing the small of the back, the sacrum into the mat, engaging our core. So just bring that belly button in and just pedal. Maybe picture a nice scene in your mind. Maybe you're pedaling along the water, along the ocean, or maybe you're pedaling out in the country. And keep the breath flowing. And then when you're ready, bring the soles of your feet to the mat and bring your hands down to the mat, palms facing down, walking your heels toward your bottom, perhaps grazing your fingertips with your heels. So bring the heels in as close to your bottom as you can. And we're going to come into a flowy bridge as we begin, so nice and easy. So we'll press into the soles of the feet and into the hands, and we'll lift the hips up into the air, and then lift the hands and arms up off the mat as you float them overhead. So really pressing into the mat with the soles of your feet, and then exhaling, floating the arms down, floating the hips down. And so we'll just continue with this flowy bridge, lifting the hips up, lifting the arms up, coming on to the shoulders, and then exhaling. And feet are about hip width apart. Lifting the hips up, lifting the arms up, coming onto the shoulders. And the last one that we do, let's see if we can really press into the feet, lift the hips nice and high. You can even come up onto your tippy toes if it feels good. And then release your arms down to the mat, your hips down to the mat. Feel your back body on the mat. Feel the heaviness in the hips and the shoulders. Take a nice deep inhalation here through the nose. As you say ah on the exhale. Ah. Nice long exhale. We're going to cross the right knee on top of the left knee, kind of stacking as if you're crossing your legs with a skirt on. And we'll shift the hips to the right an inch or two and allow the knees to come down to the left. You can take your left hand on top of that right thigh, and then if your neck permits, look away from your knees. And perhaps close your eyes and just allow gravity to help the knees down towards the earth. So a nice stretch in our hip flexors. And just focus on the breath. Bring the breath to any areas of tightness. And notice if you're gripping, kind of holding yourself up a little bit, holding the knees or gripping in the hips or even gripping in the belly, and just allow yourself to completely release, using the breath to help that, to support that. And then we will inhale the knees back to center and uncross them, and then take it to the other side. So stack that left knee on top of the right, crossing the legs. And shift the hips to the left a little bit, allowing the knees to fall to the right as you look away from the knees. And just notice if you're gripping any place, and allow yourself to just completely release. You can bring the right hand on top of the left thigh to help draw that left thigh down to the earth. And just follow the breath, be an observer of the breath, and relax and release. Allow the shoulders, both shoulders, to just be supported by the earth. And then we will inhale the knees back to center as we uncross the legs. And just find that stillness. We're so busy in our lives. It's really nice to just come to stillness in the body and in the mind. So just take a nice deep inhalation again through the nose, and then exhale through the nose this time. And just feel the back body, feel the body just completely supported. And then we're going to come up to seated, a nice, easy Sukhasana, easy pose. So just make your way up to seated, your favorite way to come up, either rocking up or pushing yourself up to, or pushing yourself up to seated. Okay, so once you come up, just rock from side to side on your sit bones. Feel the support of the earth. Sitting up nice and tall. And we'll just come into some nice, easy neck, head and neck roll. So just dropping your chin to your chest and just slowly and mindfully moving the head in circles and just noticing where the neck might have a little bit of tightness. Just be an observer of the body. So body awareness. In any area that might feel like it needs a little extra attention, just, move the head from side to side in that spot. And then at some point in your circles, whenever you're ready, reverse your direction. And just make note, get to know the neck, where the neck, may feel a little tight. Because awareness allows us to support ourselves by giving a little attention off the mat so that we don't get to the point where our neck and shoulders are really very, very tight, which happens to a lot of people. But we're going to give our head and shoulders and neck a little love today. So I'm just kind of rocking my head from side to side. So do whatever feels good for your neck. And I think I'm going to look out over my shoulder, my back shoulder. And then I'm going to come to center, look back over my other shoulder, just very mindfully. And then I'll place my hands on my knees, my kneecaps, and just do some shoulder shrugs. So bring the shoulders up towards the ears and release down. And we're using our breath. So inhaling our shoulders up and exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And then we can make some circles with our shoulders, bringing them up towards the ears and then squeezing them back. Just make some nice circles, like 3 or 4 circles, and then reverse your direction. And just notice how your shoulders are feeling. Is there one shoulder that feels a little stiffer or tighter, or do both your shoulders feel nice and lubricated and flexible? And then bring your shoulders to stillness. We'll come into eagle arms. So we'll bring our left arm into an L, so our elbow up. Stretch our right fingertips out away from our bodies, really stretching, sitting up nice and tall, sweeping that right elbow underneath the left elbow, and then bringing the palms together as best you can without forcing. Bring your elbows away from your body, and then inhale your arms up and exhale them down. And just move at your own pace. Feel the stretch across the back of your shoulders. Feel the entire top part of your back kind of widening. Nice stretch. This was my go-to stretch when I'm feeling tension in my shoulders. But everything in the shoulders and neck, we're very mindful of. We're making slow, mindful movements. And we're sitting up nice and tall, using our breath. Our breath very much supports our movements. And then we'll make an L. I forget what arm I made it with. Okay, no, I think it was so make an L with the right arm and stretch the left fingertips away, and then sweep the left arm under, stacking the elbows, bring the palms together, pull the elbows away from the body, and then inhale up and exhale down. Feel the stretch across the back of the shoulders and the upper back body. And then release. And let's change the cross of our leg. So bring the other ankle in front, just changing the cross. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll inhale our arms up. So really stretch through the fingertips and then twist towards the right knee. Bring the hands down and sit up nice and tall. And we'll follow our breath a little here. As we exhale, see if we can twist a little bit more towards the back shoulder. using that left hand to press against the thigh, press against the right thigh to help you twist a little more. Fingertips can be pointing towards your hip, so the right fingertips towards your right hip. And just twist a little bit more on each exhalation. And we always twist when we're sitting up nice and tall with a tall, straight spine. That's very important. And then return back to center. Rock back and forth on the sit bones, sit up nice and tall. Inhale the arms up, extend through the fingertips, and as you exhale, twist towards the left. Sitting up nice and tall on your exhales. See if you can look out over the left shoulder this time. Keep the breath flowing. And then gently return to center. We're going to come up onto our knees now. Into table. So spread the fingers wide. Have the wrists underneath the shoulders. Have the knees underneath the hip points. We'll come into a flowy cat here. So we'll inhale as we drop the belly, send the heart center forward, really press away from the mat. And then we'll exhale as we come back, round the back to cat. And then we'll push back and sit onto our heels as we drop our elbows. And then trace the mat as we come forward with our nose, dropping our belly for cow, pressing away from the mat. And then exhaling, rounding the back, pressing away from the mat, again with the hands. And then sitting back on the heels, feel the extension in the arms. So down each side of the rib cage, you can feel a nice stretch. Drop the elbows, trace the mat with the nose. We're not touching the mat with our nose. We're inhaling as we gaze up, sending our heart forward. Exhaling, rounding our back. Pressing back and sitting on the heels. Drop the elbows, trace the mat with the nose as you come forward. And then we'll come to a nice neutral spine. We're going to come into our thread the needle. So we're going to inhale that left arm up towards the sky, fingertips towards the sky. Bring the hand down to the mat. We'll do that again. Inhale, fingertips up towards the sky. This time when we come down, bring the palm so that it's facing up and bring the ear and the cheek onto the mat. The left ear, left cheek. So our left hand is palm to the sky. We'll send our right hand up over our head, so just walking our right hand so that it's up overhead, so we're getting a nice stretch. And just take a breath here. We'll walk that right hand back next to the face, press into that right hand to come out. Bring yourself back to table. And now we'll inhale the right fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale them down to the mat. Inhale up towards the sky. I'm looking up at my fingertips if your neck permits. And this time, float that right hand down. Bring the palm so that it's facing the sky as you slip it underneath the left arm and bring your right cheek down to the mat, your right ear down to the mat. And then if you did so on the other side, walk your fingertips up overhead, your left hand still on the mat. So you'll feel a nice stretch down the left side body. Take a breath or two here. Bring that left hand down towards your face. Press into the left hand to come out and back to table. We're going to come into a low lunge here. So we'll bring our left foot between our hands. Walk our right knee back. Take the left foot towards the edge of your mat, so the left side of your mat, and bring your left hand on the instep of your left foot. And then we're going to press the shoulder and the elbow into the knee and the calf of the left foot. So left arm, left calf, and then inhale the right arm up towards the sky. So looking up at that right thumb, if you're able. And then exhale down. We'll take that left foot back and bring the right foot towards the front of the mat. So the right foot towards the edge, the right edge of your mat, and we'll take that right hand on the instep side of the right foot, press the shoulder, the elbow into the knee and the calf. Kind of helps with stability. And then take the left hand and inhale as you twist left fingertips up towards the sky. And then exhale that left hand down. We'll walk that right foot back to meet the left. And then we're going to bring the big toes together and spread the knees wide as our mat, as we walk our fingertips towards the top of the mat and bring our forehead down to the mat. So this is child's or balasana. And so just settle in. So your third eye, the forehead is on the mat. And to get a little bit of a shoulder stretch, see if this feels good, or if you just notice the feeling of this actually, to come up onto your fingertips. You can really feel it in the upper arms and the shoulders. Of course, if it doesn't feel good, if it's hurting, don't do it, but it's a different feeling. So up on the fingertips. Just take a breath here. Come down to the palms if you were up on your fingertips. And then walking the hands back towards you, come back up onto your knees. And we're going to come to standing. So we'll curl our toes, walk our hands back towards our knees, push up onto our toes, and then we'll come up to Tadasana. Okay. So just come to your Tadasana, your mountain pose, rocking from side to side. Just feel the strength in the body. Okay, we're going to come into our triangle pose, our Trikonasana now. So we're going to step our feet apart. We'll send our left toes pointing towards the short end of the mat, and the right foot will be parallel to the back of the mat. And the stance is a little bit shorter than if we were doing our warrior. So find a comfortable stance. Make sure that you're nice and balanced. Your torso, you're standing up nice and tall, and inhale your arms up so that they're parallel to the earth. We'll look out over that middle front finger as we reach reach as far forward as we can. And we want to keep the body as if it was between a pane of glass. So we don't want our bum sticking out. We want to try to engage the core. So reaching, reaching. When you can't reach any further, you'll bring that front hand down, see where it lands. You know, it might be the calf or it might be the thigh. Not on the knee though, might be the ankle. And then the top hand, we're going to bend and bring our hand behind our back as we bring the top shoulder back. So open up through that top shoulder, look towards the sky, you know, mindfully bring that top shoulder back. And if your neck does not permit, of course, look, you know, forward. Don't look up if your neck is not allowing you to do that today. And take a couple of breaths here. And then we'll inhale ourselves back up and bring our feet parallel. Bring both hands behind you as you interlace your fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and perhaps gaze up. So drop the head back and gaze up at the sky. Inhale yourself back up and then exhale as you fold forward, and the hands will come off the back. So this will give a little range of motion to our shoulders also, and just allow the arms to stop where they stop. Feel the shoulders crown of the head is facing the earth. And then slowly, mindfully come up and undo the hands. And we will turn the right toes towards the short end of the mat. Back foot can stay parallel. And we'll inhale our arms up for Trikonasana on this other side. So we're going to reach, reach, reach forward as far as we can. Rotate that front hand down to like the calf or the ankle. And then take the left hand and bring the hand behind the back as we open up the top shoulder towards the sky and gaze up if your neck permits. If not, you can look forward. Take a breath or two. Feel the stretch in the side body. Then inhale yourself back up. Bring your feet parallel. And we will heel toe our feet together. Inhale our arms up. Turn our palms away as we exhale, leading with chin and chest. You can bend your knees a little, no need for them to be completely straight. We'll hold on to our elbows here for ragdoll. Shaking our head yes. Shaking our head no. Bringing a little space to the neck. Just hang out here for a moment or two. You can swing from side to side if you'd like. And then placing our hands on either side of our feet, we'll come down to our knees, and then we're going to come down to our bellies. So let's extend our arms out overhead and just bring our forehead down to the mat. And so we'll do a little breaststroke here. So if you just picture yourself doing the breaststroke in the water. So we'll lift the head and shoulders up, and then we'll turn the palms away and bring the arms back by the sides. And then we'll
Bring the hands back down, the forehead back down to the mat. And you can lift the feet off the mat too when you do this. So on an inhale, lift the head and shoulders up, the hands, the arms, the legs. Do your breaststroke with your arms, and then return to the earth. And we'll do that one more time. So we'll lift the head and shoulders up, hands and feet off the mat, turn the palms away, breaststroke. Stack your forearms and rest your forehead on the mat. Spread your feet wide, toes pointing towards the edges of the mat for crocodile. And just notice the breath. Notice on the inhale how the belly presses into the mat. And on the exhale, the belly softens. So we'll take 3 breaths here. And when you're ready, you can gently roll over to Shavasana. So just find yourself in Shavasana. So arms are away from the body with palms facing up. Legs are spread wide on the mat with the toes pointing towards the edges of the mat. Just notice the back body as it rests on the mat. Notice the areas where the back body touches the mat. The back of the head, the back of the neck, back of the shoulders, the length of the spine, the bottom, your buttocks, the back of your thighs, back of your calves, back of your feet, your heels. Just take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Do that again. Nice long exhalation. And just follow the breath for a few rounds. Noticing how the body feels. If the muscles have been warmed up. Notice, any areas where there's a little achiness. Maybe you haven't used those muscles for a little bit, but keeping ourselves moving is the best medicine for that. So just make note of it so you have a little more body awareness than you had before. I'm going to ring my bowl now. And as you're resting there, I invite you to bring one hand to your heart center, the other hand on top. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.